What's going on, guys? Today we're bringing to you a new best beginner's guide and best starting guide with the best character builds for SCUM right now, out in 0.8. So I want to go ahead and get into it right away. Go ahead and pick your tattoo style if you want to go with that. I'm going to go ahead with on. I like this one. Now, of course, there are the female characters that you could go with out there, and I'm just going to really quickly go through that. There's no tattoos for them right now, which kind of sucks, but you can obviously do the breast size and all that you want. And then you can actually go into the complexion here and change their complexion, which is pretty sweet. Different skin tone, of course. You can change the age, so obviously adds to some wrinkles here if you wanted to go with that. The hairstyles, you know, same as the male. I'm really excited for the male builds though. I'm really looking forward to getting a new character. You can change the iris type, which is pretty nice, and I'm sure they'll add more features as well, but you get the picture. I never really go into the female characters very much because I play a male character most of the time. So back to my guy here. We're gonna go ahead with this tattoo style, and I'm gonna pick my this build right here for now, and then we gotta go with, you know, Mega Wang as usual. Now, real quick, the best overall build, guys, straight out of the gate is the 3333 build. You can, of course, change this. I'll show you what this gets you. So these are the attribute values. This will give you skill points that you can go with, and you can go ahead and distribute them this way. Now, the best, I'm going to save you the time. The best skill in the game currently under strength tree is a rifle skill. This helps you with faster reload speeds, loading your magazines faster aim down sight speed, and overall it's just so much better with recoil control, things like that. Handgun speed's not really necessary. I mean, you'll build that up passively because you're gonna find handguns most likely a lot faster than a rifle, and you know, it's not that difficult to control the handgun. But I will say this: if you are a beginner, okay, and you want to go with the more traditional survival style, you may want an archery build. And when you do a medium archery skill, this will actually give you a little dot reticle that'll help you with lining those headshots up with the puppets, which are the zombies in the game. It helps with that, and it also, archery skill will help you with being able to utilize different weight bow string, so different weight bows. So you can pull a, you know, compound bow or like a scorpion bow, ballista, all that. These are heavier weight bows than the standard craftable bows, and it will help you with being able to do that, which will make your arrows travel further, more accurately, and with more damage potential. So the higher the archery skill, that will definitely be better for you, but realistically, for the way I play the game, I don't really need it, and you'll get there fast enough because the bow is going to be an early weapon that you're going to want to craft right away. You'll get the archery skill built up in no time, really. It's not a big deal. So again, all the way up for rifles. Now, people want to know about brawling. I think brawling is a big freaking waste. The only time it's not a waste is if you plan to exclusively play events where there's like the MMA brawling, you know, cage matches.
The fight clock is brought to you by Modelo.
Other than that, it's useless. You're not going to survive with brawling, not very easily, especially against other players. Now, melee weapons, you could go with melee advanced because, you know, advanced melee is helpful as far as providing you better combo attacks. It does give you a slight damage boost over having no melee skill. It is more tedious to level melee, so if you want to be like that, you know, melee geared player, you may want to go ahead and do this right off the bat, but realistically, you're getting, you know, maybe a 20 to 30% increase of damage. So, you know, not huge, not game breaking, but it would help, you know, with dealing early on with puppets and things like that. If you get more advanced weaponry like the katana, metal sword, things like that, you can do without having advanced melee, and you can, you know, swipe those zombies and those puppets pretty easily. So I would just go ahead again, advanced rifles all the way. Constitution skills, again, we're doing the 3-3-3-3 build here. Running advanced, no questions asked. Now, endurance will help you with reducing the amount of energy that you're expending. So that's something to keep in mind, as well as also with the food, nutrition, expenditure. You'll be able to have the food last a lot longer if you did take, endurance, but there's really no need. You're going to eventually level that up over time. But the running is big because it's going to help you flee from players faster if you get into conflict, or chase them down if you're the one causing the conflict. And it also helps theoretically level up some of the other skills, strength and dexterity, a little bit quicker, in my opinion. And again, I say theoretically because this game changes so rapidly sometimes. That may change from time to time. But for now, running is a really great skill to go with. And also dexterity. Now, here's the thing here. Dexterity, the best end game skill for this tree currently is going to be advanced thievery. Now, that's going to help you lock picking. It's going to give you a longer time on the timer to pick a lock. It's also going to help you break less lock picks, and as well as give you a better sweet spot for being able to position that pick in there to unlock the lock a little bit easier. And if you're going to do kill boxes, things like that, if you're going to be a base raider, you may want to go ahead, at least if you're a squad, you're going to want at least an advanced lock picker in your group. But if you're solo or a duo, you're going to want to go ahead and take this in most cases, if that's the style of play you want. If you're not much of a raider, if you're not much of a kill box, I wouldn't worry about thievery, but it is extremely tedious, very annoying to level up, so it is really worth taking. Another thing I want to mention quickly is if you played this game long enough to where you can actually level your strength skill to like an 8, which is the max currently, you can break lockers open with a crowbar, and if you have advanced thievery combined, you really don't have to worry about picking locks at that point. But most of us are not at that point where we have a really high strength of a 7 or 8 to do that. But you're going to want to go ahead and at least, take advanced lockpicking from the beginning as you level this up. If this is going to be your main character that you're going to play for a long time, I definitely recommend it. Now, if you are a new player, okay, and you don't care about base rating, you don't care about kill boxes, okay, you are going to want to take advanced stealth. And the reason for that is this will help you survive in a PvP environment. You'll be quieter to players. Also, mechs, which are going to be patrolling the bunkers and point of interests, they're going to be a lot, less likely to hear you, especially when you have a load of gear on your person. That's going to increase the loudness of your footsteps. So if you have an advanced stealth, that will help you stay a little quieter and hopefully avoid detection. So I really recommend, if you're going with like a PvP style build, please go ahead and take stealth right away. You can, of course, level stealth. There's AFK ways to level. They've made it a lot harder. The devs have made it harder to do AFK leveling for certain things now. So if you're not planning to do that and just kind of like babysit your character all the time, even in AFK, I'd probably just go ahead and straight away take stealth advanced if you're going to be doing a ton of bunker runs. And as well as, by the way, what you should be doing a ton of bunker runs if you want the best loot in the game. Most of the best loot in the game comes from bunkers. There are other POIs, but definitely a bunker is the way to go. But like I was saying, the advanced stealth is really, it can be leveled passively, but it is going to be a lot more time consuming. So it's up to you, either advanced stealth or advanced thievery, depending on what I just suggested about your playstyle. And now for the intelligence tree, if you're a PvP player, go ahead and take advanced awareness. This is going to help you go into focus mode and tune out all of the ambient noise in the game so you can hear footsteps much easier. It also will help you hear players. It will also help you identify loot at a distance with a bit of a highlight around the items. So that will help you kind of spot things from a distance. I know personally, it's helped me before when I was like in the forest or somewhere. I was approaching a camp, like one of those military tents, and I could see into the tent, and on the ground I could see a holster, a little twinkling light of like a holster right as I was approaching. So just something to keep in mind. You may want to go ahead with advanced awareness. Now this can be leveled up as you loot items, as you put items in and out of inventory. Also, if you have items all around you, scattered about you, this will level up the awareness skill. You'll get more XP as you have more items in your vicinity. And you also could do advanced sniping if you're wanting to go with the sniper build. This helps with actually being able to use the rangefinder ability much more efficiently. When you're sniping and you're going with anything beyond 100 meters, you're going to want to tune your scope with the windage adjustments. And so this will help you get that done a lot quicker as far as identifying the range that the target is at. So that's something to keep in mind there. And if you're not going to snipe, I wouldn't worry about it. You can level sniping up by finding a 22 rifle or something and putting a scope on it, or any kind of optic that's a ACOG magnification or better will level your sniping up for you. Now camouflage is broken pretty much, but it is useful. But this is probably, this is probably one of the easiest to level in the entire game. Lay in a bush and your camouflage XP will start to increase. You can also do this if you're resting. Now that they kind of have broken the game a little bit with the stamina mechanic, you're going to be resting a lot more laying down. So anytime you have an opportunity to lay down somewhere, lay in a bush, your camouflage skill will go up. But what this does basically is, if you stay completely still, you will basically be able to be invisible if you had an advanced camouflage. If you're in a bush and there's a player looking at said bush, if you're not moving anywhere, they will not be able to see that you're in the bush. Now, if you start moving, they'll be able to see you. So it's kind of whack. Also, the awareness skill can counter camouflage. So if you have a higher awareness skill than someone's camouflage skill, you'll be able to see them pretty much regardless. So that's just something to think about. Survival skill, this has to do with certain crafting recipes being unlocked for you in the crafting menu. It also helps with speed of crafting items, which is really useful. And then if you have at least a basic survival, this will give you a north compass marker, which is extremely useful if you're a beginner to the game. You gotta have this, because most people, I'm telling you, if you don't take survival and you're new to SCUM, you've never played SCUM, you're gonna probably want to quit the game if you don't have the patience to kind of orientate yourself on the direction you're running, walking, etc. So to make your life easier, please, at the very least, if you're a beginner, take basic survival. Medium will give you a north, south, east, west marker, and then as you go up, advanced, I believe, gives you like the southwest markers or the southeast markers, stuff like that. But it's basically, you could find a military compass and get the same thing accomplished for yourself, where you can get those really, really fine-tuned directions. So it's not really necessary to go advanced survival, in my personal opinion. You will get there eventually. But please take at least basic if you're a noob. Don't be ashamed. Don't think, oh, I got it. It's really annoying, I'm telling you. So at least go for basic. Engineering, basic engineering is going to help you with repairing items like helmets, and also being able to repair your armor if you have any armor. Now, I will give you a quick thing. The survival tree, a quick spoiler for you.
Wow, it looks like when it comes to comedy, I really take the cake. I really take the cake. I really take the cake.
You can craft improvised armor with a basic survival skill. So you can find metal and bolts, nails, stuff like that, and puppet skin, and you can be able to craft a basic armor. So that's something to think about. Engineering is going to help you repair said armor and helmets. And then medium is going to give you the ability to repair vehicles and be able to take parts off of vehicles. You will need a jack, and you will need a car repair kit, so you can get the best use out of being able to utilize the cars in the game as you find parts for them. Most of them are going to be missing like a wheel or something like that, so, or doors. So you're going to want to make sure you have a medium engineering skill, which you can grind, of course, by you can grind both of these out by basically chopping trees and then putting blueprints together with these skills here. But if you don't want to waste time with that, if you're like a casual player and you're not on here 24/7, go ahead and take some form of engineering skill, especially if you're like interested in cars and you're interested in flipping cars, which is a great way to make money, by the way. You can find cars, fix them up, push them to the trader, make some good cash off of selling them. So that's something if you're interested in that, go ahead, take medium engineering right out of the gate. So I hope that helps with that. Now, the other thing is medical. To me, guys, out of every skill we see here, this is the best one because this is the most tedious one to level. It's ridiculous. Okay, it's absolutely ridiculous. Nobody wants to sit there and let a puppet beat them up, repair, beat them up, repair, beat them up, repair. It's ridiculous. This right here is golden. Now, I have clips on my social media, my TikTok, and my Clapper account, as well as here on YouTube, of how advanced medical has saved my life on numerous occasions. So this will help you with stopping a bleed much faster than having no medical. So if you have at least good quality rags, or some kind of antiseptic rag or emergency bandages, things like that, this will take you from a C4 bleed, which is the maximum bleed you could get, which happens typically if you get shot by a mech pretty much instantaneously. You're going to get a C4 bleed or C3 if you're lucky. And this will help you repair said bleed with like 1 to 3 rags. I'm not kidding you. I've repaired bleeds with like 1 rag before with advanced medical, and it's insane. Now, at least, you know, if you have no medical skill, it's going to take you like 10 rags or more potentially, and especially if they're degraded quality, it's going to take you forever, and you're going to just be bandaging and bandaging, which also gives other players an opportunity to kill you, because you're busy nursing your wounds. So do keep that in mind. Now, devil's advocate side of things here. If you are ambushed by a player, medical means nothing. Means nothing. If you're ambushed by a player within a few shots, if you have no armor, or even if you do, if they're coming in full auto guns, you're dead. It doesn't matter if you got advanced medical or not. This is not adding an extra bonus to you for protecting you from dying from being basically ambushed. But if you do happen to survive, please consider taking advanced medical because it will help you recover much quicker. But you could save this and not use advanced and use it on something else. So if you're doing the PvP mindset and you want to hear every player as easily as possible because you're planning to do some damage, take advanced awareness. If you're looking at, letting this kind of level up passively for you, then go ahead and take advanced medical. And again, 3-3-3-3 build. Now, let me go ahead and show you the new build that I'm doing, and then we're going to get actually into it. These skills, by the way, the ones that are grayed out, in case you're wondering, are not available yet for use. But as you can see here, man, there's going to be a lot of extra skills here added into the intelligence tree, which brings me to my point of what I'm about to do here. And last thing real quick, farming, if you're going to farm, having a higher skill in farming is going to help your crop yield. It'll help you out basically being a more efficient farmer. That's pretty straightforward. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to take my new build, which I'm testing. And some of you guys in the comments are going to be like, no, don't do it. Don't do this. 2 constitution, 2 dexterity. Now, as you see here, this is affecting the way my character looks. When you mess with dexterity, okay, you have a higher or lower dexterity, it messes with the way your character looks, okay? So, and again, if you have, higher strength, you're going to look a little stronger. Let's pretend I take that down for a second. If you're a max, 5, this is not max, period, but it's max for starting strength is 5. And you have a high dexterity, you know, your character is going to look great. He's going to look pretty fit. You know what I mean? So just think about that. But what I'm doing here is I'm doing a 2 Constitution, 2 Dexterity, 3 Strength, and 5 Intelligence. Okay. Now, Constitution, this in theory may have an effect on your overall health. I do know it does affect the ability for you to get more infections or disease. So if you're worried about that, don't lower your Constitution. But if you're not, go ahead and try this out. But as far as health points, I cannot confirm or deny that your health points are really affected that much by reducing the Constitution by like 1 point. Now, if you had it as a 1 Constitution, that might be different. But you'll level these things up over time, and it's not a big deal. But I want a 5 Intelligence, and I want a 3 Strength, because 3 Strength, strength score in general, is going to help you with carry capacity for items. So if you have a higher strength, you're going to be able to carry more items in your inventory without it decreasing your character's performance score, causing your character to look hunched over, be slower when moving around, run slower, all of that. So strength, I don't want to lower my strength, because strength also affects your archery. So you can have, you know, the ability to use different bows if you have a higher strength, in addition to the archery skill. And it also helps with your melee damage a bit. So just think about it. This is what I'm doing. 3, 2, 2, 5. And then we're going to distribute the points like this. Advanced rifles, like I mentioned. This still gives me that. And we're going to go with a medium running. Okay. Anytime you have like a little extra of these skills right here, I don't waste time with that, because I'm not sure if the game actually will count that for you, or if it's just gonna like go into oblivion and you're not gonna really get this value. So I just wanted to be an even value, so I'm gonna do medium, and then I'm gonna do basic endurance. Now, if resistance had opened up, I would probably pick that. I'm not sure how they're gonna implement that yet, but I would just probably think it's got to do with disease, you know, reduction of getting diseases and stuff like that. But for now, I'm gonna do medium running, which will still give me a quick enough running pace. And a basic endurance will help me manage my food and water consumption a little bit better, as well as your stamina. So stamina recovery. And we're going to go with the 2 dexterity. As far as PvP build, guys, I play PvP servers. As you've basically seen on almost every single video I've done, I play on a PvP server, and I play on an official server. So with that being said, I might consider doing stealth skill, but I also want to mention this before I let this go here. Driving skill and all motorcycling and aviation, this all has to do with obviously what it says, driving cars, driving motorcycles, and then flying planes. There's not enough reason, in my opinion, that you need to take those skills. It might help you with charging the batteries, things like that. For finding those vehicles, charging them a little bit more efficiently, or maybe gas being used a little bit more efficiently, but I don't think it's worth your investment. Throwing skill, definitely not worth it. This is not Ninja Gaiden here. We're not worried about that. But I wanted to mention demolition, because I didn't mention it before. Demolition skill will help you with disarming traps, creating C4. You're going to have to get those components, either finding them in the world or finding them on a puppet by disarming their bomb on the bomber puppets. It'll help you with kill boxes, you know, disabling the wires on kill box. It also gives you the ability to create explosive tip arrows or crossbow bolts. So if you want to go ahead with that, you could do that. If you want to get into that little, you know, techie, you know, realm of SCUM, you could take a basic demolition, and that will give you the ability to create those explosive tip arrows. So if you want to try and experiment with that, be my guest. But for me, I'm going to go with, let's see what it does. So it gives us the ability to have medium plus a little bit. So if I back it up here, we do basic stealth, that would be good. Or in my case, because I do a lot of bunkers and the mechs are kind of annoying, I'm going to actually take this to basic thievery, and I'm going to do medium stealth. Okay. So that's what this is going to give me, even with a two constitution. Medium stealth, which makes me still pretty quiet, not too loud, and then also a little bit of a buff with the lock picking. Now, the big hitter here. I got 10 skill points here that I can use here. So what I want to do is right away, because I don't want to deal with healing forever and bandaging forever, I'm taking advanced medical. The other thing I'm taking is I'm taking basic survival, and then I'm going to take medium engineering. The reason for this is because I want, not because I need the compass marker. I really don't care. I've been playing this game long enough. I don't need it. But I do like the recipes it gives me, which is that it unlocks a craftable, larger sized backpack that you can use if you kill some puppets and you find a, you get like, I think 1 or 2 puppet skins or animal skins, and then you get a sewing kit. You can make yourself a nice capacity backpack, which helps with looting. And then also the basic gives you the ability to make improvised armor, which will help you stay alive. So I want that right away. This is a great one to go with if you're a beginner regardless. And then engineering, I want to be able to have the ability to flip some cars, possibly, which means I can put the items on the car to get it to push or start, and then drive it to the trader, or push it to the trader and sell it. And also, if you have engineering skill, this will let you craft certain locks, so you can craft a more advanced lock if you find a toolbox and enough of the little locks. Now, they have added a combination lock into the game, and so that is really OP right now. I hope to find some of those on this, on this character, so I can show that to you guys. But those locks are super OP. Also, in addition, engineering also gives you the ability to upgrade your base. Now, if you took advanced engineering, that would have let you upgrade your base walls to like the maximum, but I'm not a base builder at this point. I'm going to basically take a prefab building, which means a building already existing in the game, and I'm going to throw a lock on that sucker and hopefully find one of those combination locks and throw it on there, because that is pretty much the strongest base in the game at this point, is a prefab with a combo lock. Until they update that to where it's more rateable, I'm telling you, man, overpowered big time. So, and also engineering also gives you the ability to have a little bit more efficiency with your building materials. So if you took no engineering compared to somebody with a medium or advanced engineering, it would take them less building materials to actually build said wall, and it is so much nicer than being at 0. So said all these things, let's get it rolling. So that's the build, rock and roll. So we got advanced rifles, medium running, basic endurance, basic thievery, medium stealth, survival, basic, medium engineering, and we've got advanced medical. Boom. And that is the best build guide for you guys starting out for 0.8. Go ahead and make sure you watch the next video so you can see just how to loot up as quickly and efficiently as possible to get some really good starting gear. We're going to run a bunker on the next one, so make sure you stay tuned for all those tips and tricks and best practices for starting out with SCUM. And hit the like and subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can see the next video. And remember, be alpha.